prom goers. Hope you're all okay. So we're going to be chatting about Hello Mary Lou Prom Night II from 1987. So in 1957, Mary Lou Maloney went up in flames. Now she's back and she's burning mad. Literally burning mad. Right, let me just add everyone in. If I do this right, because my brain is not functioning. Right, and I'll just add Grace in. There we go. Right, I should have added everyone in. Hi, Melina. Hi, Larissa. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
You okay? And here's Grace.
Oh,
Grace,
we have our very own prom queen.
I love a good theme. So
a well-deserved prom queen. I probably should have dressed up, but we're in the middle of packing and I have nothing to hand, literally nothing. So yeah, you know what it's like. Oh, you look amazing, Grace.
Thank you. I mean, 1987 prom queen.
Yeah,
so
definitely. Grace is our very own prom queen. Oh, thank you all for joining us. So we're going to be chatting, and I do apologise. My brain is not fully functioning, so it might be chaos. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah. So we're going to be chatting about Hello Mary Lou Prom Night II. I love a good rhyme. And our prom dates for this evening are Emma Puller, yay! And then we have brilliant Joshua winning, yay! And our very, very special guest is the 80s-tastic Grace Marianne, and our prom queen, yay!
Did you guys notice that there was not a prom king ever announced in the movie? It was only ever about the prom queen. I'm just like, well, don't they also have a prom king? But I guess the prom king doesn't matter. So
true, so true. So Hello Mary Lou is from 1987, and it's a Canadian supernatural slasher film, should we say? It's like, seems to be in its own kind of genre. And it was directed by Bruce Pittman and written by Ron Oliver. So basically what the film is about, and there will be spoilers ahead for this film because there's no way we cannot spoil it because it was crazy. So decades after promiscuous teen Mary Lou Maloney dies during a prank gone wrong, she returns as a spirit out for revenge and eager to punish the culprit. Her one-time boyfriend Billy, who is now the high school principal. So evil Mary Lou is perfectly content to kill all the locals, and she eventually possesses the body of prom queen contender Vicky Carpenter, which allows her to wreak even more havoc, and havoc she wreaks.
Doesn't she?
Yes. Written and filmed originally as The Haunting of Hamilton High, the title was changed to Hello Mary Lou Prom Night II by Samuel Goldwyn Company, I think it was, who actually purchased it and decided to market it as a sequel to Prom Night. So the similarities to the original Prom Night, such as the name of the school and the line, "It's not who you go with, it's who you take home," were apparently entirely coincidental, which I think is like amazing, and I love that. So is Hello Mary Lou a first time watch for you, or have you seen it before, or what are your first memories? Emma?
I've never seen it before.
I haven't either.
It was a complete and utter shock. My husband sitting there and he was playing a game while he was watching. Yeah, in a good way, yeah. Absolutely. But he was watching while playing a game, and then he said, "What on earth?" He looked up and went, "What on earth are you watching?" I was like, "I don't know." So yeah, no, first time for me.
Yeah, so it was a first time for me as well, and I was a bit like, what is going on? But I kind of like it. I think I was texting you,
So bad
wasn't I, Grace? And I was saying, "Oh my life!"
Yeah, you're just like, I'm watching it now. What am I watching?
What is going on? How about you, Josh? Have you seen it before?
No, this was my first time. I don't think that it was really that available in the UK.
No.
I felt like it just sort of snuck under the radar a bit, and you had to really, really root around to find it. And it's hilarious that now it's just shown up on Freevee, which is just completely free. Anyone can watch it now, which is just like, finally,
Yeah.
Prom Night II.
Oh, definitely. Oh, I'm glad it was the first time for you as well. And Grace, I take it you've seen it before?
I've seen it many, many times.
Oh,
it's definitely,
amazing.
it's definitely one of the absurd, insane favorites of mine because it's just so batshit crazy, right? I was lucky enough to see it on film, 35 millimeter film, at a repertory theater here in Los Angeles called the New Beverly, and I also own it on VHS.
Oh yeah! Oh wow!
So I've had the VHS actually for about 9 years or so. I got it, used obviously, but I seen it prior to that, and I don't remember the first time I saw it, but I do remember when I bought this VHS, I was like, I've got to get it because it's such a crazy, ridiculous movie, and just certain scenes kind of burn into your mind forever, right?
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
So yeah, I've seen it many times. Yeah.
Oh wow! I love how you've got it on VHS as well, and Eddie's videos just put VHS. Yeah. Oh, I love that, Grace. And Emma's just must have lost connection, so I've just sent her another invite, so she'll be back in a minute. And Larissa's put, "What? I'm surprised, Josh, that you haven't seen it before."
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I know. I've always wanted to watch it, and it's because it's just always sounded like such a weird film that has very little to do with the first one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was very excited to watch it for the first time tonight.
Yeah. And Speedway Chicks put the full frontal nudity in the changing rooms, which we'll probably get to soon. Yeah, that was an interesting choice. I've seen. Oh, here we go. Emma's back. I'll just add Emma in. There we go. Right. Emma should be back on in a second. Right, there we go. Oh, Narissa's put, I've seen it so many times. I love it. Here's Emma. Hello, Emma.
There she
is.
Sorry, everyone. My teenagers were streaming.
Oh, it's always the teens,
Yeah, I just went up and said, girls, can you stop streaming?
Oh, bless you. You're back now. So apparently, so Grace was just showing us, I didn't know whether you saw it, that she's got the VHS of...
yeah, I did. That's amazing.
Oh, it's so amazing. I love it.
So cool.
Yeah. So apparently after filming was complete, the executive producer decided that the film didn't work and hired screenwriter Ron Oliver to rewrite and reshoot several sequences for 1 week. And this included the climax of the locker room death scene, the rocking horse with the tongue, and the chalkboard whirlpool. So there's so many crazy moments in this film. Like, what are some of your favourites that made you go, whoa, like, this is awesome, or whoa, what is going on? Grace, I'll go with you first because you've seen it so many times.
I mean, can we start with the one scene or the one co-star, I should say, that everybody was just like, what the fuck, is the carousel horse, right? And I have a special vintage prop that was keeping me company here. I don't know why I have this because it just creeps me the hell out. It does have, it's a music box.
Yeah.
So, like, let's see.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, look.
That's a lot nicer.
That's definitely evil.
I was looking for its tongue.
Yeah. Okay, now that I wound it up, I can't shut it up. So.
That's so awesome.
It'll just play in the background. But yeah, I mean, that scene, just scars you, right? Just to see this like innocent, sweet childhood kind of, girls had this on their walls, pictures of horses, and then it's like it turns evil, and then the tongue comes out. You're just like, no.
It is so creepy.
It was awful. Another favorite scene is the locker room kill, which was so much fun. It's like you're with that girl hiding in the locker room, going, I don't want to be found. I don't want to be found. And then crunch.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh dear. Yeah, and just
a great one-liner with that as well, which is like a wop, blubber, wooba.
bam.
So
Oh yeah.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
What about you, Josh? Did you have any favourite scenes or scenes that stood out to you?
I loved the moment where Mary Lou claws her way out of Vicky's dead body on the stage.
Oh, yeah.
Grinning ear to ear, just like, this is so cool.
That was cool, that was. So cool. Yeah.
It was so great. It was horrible.
Oh, it was amazing.
Like, you just killed our heroine. And now you're clawing your way out of her body. Very nice. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And it's quite a prolonged scene as well. It's not like really quick. It like drags it out quite long to get the full like scary effect. I liked that. Yeah. What about you, Emma? Did you have a favourite scene or scene that disturbed you the most?
I also liked the rocking horse one. That its eyes were red, and I thought that was the trick. And then the tongue came out, and I was just like, "What is it doing?" Oh no, it's too scary. And then she had her fingers in its mouth. What was she doing, massaging its tongue? Like, love, stop it. It's so gross. But I did like the volleyball scene as well, where the net turned into a web, and then she got all wrapped up.
She got all wrapped up. Yeah.
I laughed so much.
Yeah, that was such a good scene. That would so be me if I was playing volleyball. Though. Like honestly, I'd be like, but yeah, so.
It did have Shelley vibes, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did. Yeah, I agree. Like that rocking horse scene, I think is going to be like scarred on my brain for like forever. I'm never going to forget it.
I can't.
The minute you think, that it's finished, the tongue comes out again.
Yeah, and then she goes and kisses her dad. Oh.
Yeah, I've just seen. Someone just put in the comments about the dad, but the thing is, he didn't even like. I hate to say it, but he didn't pull away or anything. He was just kind of going
he kissed
with it.
back. Okay, and that's disgusting.
Oh,
yeah,
yuck.
Yeah. Oh dear. But yeah, I think there was just so many good scenes, but it seems that the ones that are sticking in our memory are the ones that happened on the rewrite, which is interesting. So definitely the rewrite must have worked. Disturbed by that rocking horse forever.
Yeah.
Well, I was listening to an interview with Ron Oliver, who wrote it, and he actually directed those scenes. And he was saying that the guy who directed everything else, he's more of a drama film director. And so when they were trying to put the film together, they were like, this is just playing out like a drama, where's the horror? So I guess they were really keen to like amp up the horror stuff.
Yeah. No, they did. Like the horror and the shock value. I also love the scene as well where the kid Josh in the film gets like electrocuted by his computer.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
and he gets his hands stuck to the keyboard.
Yeah, that's it. But it's just like, it just gave me so many 80s vibes, like that whole, like the way the electricity was done and things, and I just thought it was so cool. I was like, yeah, this is cool. I loved it.
Hopefully that doesn't happen to us right now with our iPhones. So
hopefully, fingers crossed.
I'll get zapped.
You imagine? As long as there's no rocking horses. Well, yeah, great. Yeah, Narissa's put that damn rocking horse. Yeah, it's always it's erased on our mind, etched on our mind even. And Speedway Chicks put, oh, I've already erased that rocking horse from my memory.
How could you?
Well,
I thought you were going to start talking. I thought you were like, hello.
Hello.
Oh, I should have so started talking.
I'm Mary Lou.
That would have been awesome.
Now Eddie's videos put such a cute horse. Now I'm hoping that Eddie's referring to Gracie's horse that she held up and not the horse in the film.
Yeah, not the demon one.
Yeah, the dad bit was worse, Narissa says. Yeah, so Eddie's videos put the whole movie was a huge shocking surprise. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And Narissa's put the shut your effing mouth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Eddie's videos it kind of felt like Carrie and A Nightmare on Elm Street and softcore porn. So did you pick up any like other influences that maybe the film had picked up from other films, Josh?
I think definitely those two, and then it quite played out like almost an episode of Tales from the Crypt as well. It had that kind of vibe to it.
Yeah,
like weird stuff's going on, no one really knows why.
Yeah,
and you know, then it ends.
Then it ends. How about you, Emma? Did you pick up any other influences, maybe?
Yeah, a lot. I felt like it was a mashup of like A Nightmare on Elm Street, Poltergeist, The Exorcist. It's just like all in one.
Yeah.
Because I'd seen a lot of the tropes that were used in those ones. Like I felt like it was a real. I love these movies, and I'm going to put as much of it into this movie as I can. Except the horse, because obviously that was like a show stealer. That horse upstaged every actor on that set. But all of those rolled into one.
Oh, great!
Grace, no!
Oh, how about you, Grace? Did you pick up any other influences, like, or you know, you're really into like all your 80s horror and things, so there must be some other influences that maybe you picked up on?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone nailed it right there. Eddie said it right there in the comments. If someone has not seen the movie, I would basically just tell them it's a mashup between Nightmare on Elm Street and Carrie. Yeah. So yeah, those two are the major influences, hands down, for that film. I mean, with Nightmare, it's like you get the bad dreams and the dark visions, right? And then with Carrie, it's obviously, you know, prom gone wrong and you know, the prom queen seeking her revenge.
Yeah.
And so yeah, most definitely those two films were the big ones.
Yeah, and didn't all the character names, their surnames were names of like horror directors, right? Or something like Carpenter and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought
like
that was
Dr. King in there, like Stephen King.
Yeah. I thought that was quite interesting. Yeah. I was like, oh wait, because I'm sure we've watched another film where they did that as well, and I couldn't remember what film it was, but I remember talking about it.
Was it Chopping Mall?
Night of the Creeps did that as well.
Yeah, it might have been Chopping Mall, where they use the surnames, which I kind of like it when they do like slight little Easter eggs.
Little homages.
Yeah. Narissa's put the bit where her friend snaps at a guy talking to her, then immediately asks, so why don't guys ask me out?
Her friend was awful.
Her friend, I wasn't sure. I was a bit like, is she being a good friend or is she not being a good friend? Speedway Chick said there were some great scenes in this movie. Death when we thought her head was going to be guillotined. Yeah. Like I actually was like this at that point, you know, at the end. Was that the end, was it? I think it was.
No, that was with her pregnant friends. I think her name was Jess, which really bummed me out because like she didn't do anything. She was an innocent, you know, and she was pregnant and sad about her boyfriend leaving her or something. I'm like, she doesn't deserve to die.
No.
And I didn't want to see her head get chopped off. So
Yeah.
That scene gave me like, like yeah, why not?
I was ready. Yeah.
Yeah, but it kind of gave me Final Destination vibes. That did. I thought,
Yeah.
She really
reminds me
went
of
through
that.
it. Like she got hanged and then she got thrown out the window as well. Like,
It's
poor
like
Jess.
add insult to injury. Yeah, just toss her out the window.
Just go, just gone. Oh dear. Yeah, Speedway Chick said, and Vicky swimming around the chalkboard was something different. Yeah, that was an interesting.
Very cool.
Interesting scene. And Narissa's put the mum's reaction, so I take it it's to that kissing scene with the dad. Yeah. She's like, harlot!
Yeah. Jezebel.
Jezebel!
Jezebel! Yeah.
There was
Oh,
another.
dear.
That's another Carrie parallel, right? The super religious mother.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely. Eddie's videos put, if it makes everyone feel better, most of the teens here were nearly 30 years old, as usual in teen movies. Well, it was funny because Melina, who's probably watching, she messaged me when she was about to start watching it, and she said, "Oh, I've just realised that the lead, so Wendy
Wendy Lyon?
Lyon, was in Anne of Green Gables," and I was like, "Oh dear, Melina, this is gonna destroy that memory for you."
not so innocent anymore.
Not Green Gables anymore.
Oh dear. Just see if anyone else has put anything. No one gets between Mary Lou and her crown, Narissa said. Yeah, that's so accurate.
No one.
So what were your thoughts on Mary Lou? Do you think her actions were justified? Should she have been that peed off? Like, what do you think, Grace?
You know what? Well, it's when we first meet her, you know, when the scene's first established and we meet her character, she's a bad girl. She's just unapologetically, she is a harlot, right? She's just unapologetically a bad girl, and she's confessing proudly to her sins. You know, I've been with many boys, you know, and I loved every minute of it, right? And she's scrawling her name in lipstick in the confession booth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, right off the bat, we know she's a bad girl. She's promiscuous, you know, and so yeah, she's unlike other, you know, horror female villains like you know, The Exorcist or Carrie, you know, we just talked about. These were girls. Carrie, you felt sorry for, right? She was so vulnerable, and you really felt for her. You know, Reagan from Exorcist, she was possessed. It wasn't really like her fault, right? But Mary Lou, just straight off the bat, she's a bad girl. She's a villain, right? So
she makes it well known.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what makes her fun to watch. So
yeah, no, I agree with that. How about you, Josh? Do you think she should have been that annoyed, that pissed off?
I do agree that she's sort of like the bad girl, but I also think that she doesn't necessarily deserve what happens to her. It's quite an extreme thing, you know. So you slept around a bit and you liked it. It doesn't mean you should be burned alive in front of your graduating class, you know. So I felt like she's totally justified in being pissed off.
Yeah.
I was a bit unclear on why she didn't just go straight for Billy when she was taking over Vicky and stuff. Like, why didn't she just immediately go for him, because he was her killer?
Yeah.
Maybe she was just enjoying.
She was having
these
fun.
other teenagers too much. Yeah.
Yeah, she was having fun with her new lease of life, wasn't she? When she was out of the rocking horse, she was like, "I'm free." Oh, how about you, Emma? Do you think she should have been annoyed, or did she just go over the top?
I think, why not? She should have just burned the whole place down, the whole school. Off you go. How dare you? It was my moment of glory. I had my crown and you burned me. So yeah.
Yeah. Goodbye.
She was milking it on stage, wasn't she? Like, I love the way she was posing, just like for ages. Like,
yeah. Just loving it. I don't need the cape, she says. just give me the crown.
Give me the crown.
Speedway Chick said she was set on fire, so yeah, she should be pissed. Yeah, accurate. Larissa said she did get burned alive. That's rough.
Yeah.
I'd be more annoyed about that than not getting my tiara. Yeah, definitely. But all she really wanted was that crown, though, wasn't it? She was like, you know. And Larissa has put as well, no one did anything, just pounded their fist on the floor. That's a point, you know, no one, not even the teachers, tried to help this poor girl who was burning alive in front of them. They were just like, oh, well, like, it happens.
Wasn't there one guy?
They really didn't like her.
He was going to carry his coat over and then just didn't. Just like,
he thought about it.
It's just like, nah.
He thought about it, but he didn't do it. He's like, nah, I don't want to ruin my coats.
That's it.
And then kind of like Billy's just at the top. Now he would have had time to at least run down and try and save her.
Yeah, instead of pounding his fists. Maybe try and help her.
Yeah, so in that respect, yeah, she should have been annoyed because no one helped her. So she should have just been annoyed at everybody. Yeah, definitely. And Speedway Chick said, did Billy mean to set her on fire? So I took it that he didn't mean to set her on fire. Do we all agree? I think
he didn't.
No,
he didn't.
Stink bomb.
He was going to do stink bomb, and it just went wrong. Yeah.
Doesn't something similar happen in The Burning? Don't they trap the kid in the loo outside and they throw firecrackers in and he gets burned?
Yes.
And that's how he becomes,
disfigured and stuff. Yeah,
it was a prank gone wrong.
That was
mean.
So,
it was mean.
And then don't they do like a take on that in that final girl film? The one with Adam Devine in.
With Adam Devine, Shelley's favourite.
But yeah, they do something similar in that, I think, don't they? Eddie's videos, but I don't understand why Billy was the school principal and not in prison for killing someone.
True.
Very true. Larissa said no, it was an accident, but still, you know, she got burnt alive.
Manslaughter.
Yeah, and Larissa said maybe no one knew it was him. Perhaps he didn't confess that he'd thrown it, and that he just went along that it's a tragic accident. You know, it's like, just accident.
Because then the only person he seems to know is the priest, but so he would have confessed to the priest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I think we all agree she deserved to be annoyed. Yeah. So what did you think of the main female lead, Vicky? So did you like Vicky better before or better after the possession? Josh?
Oh yeah, I preferred her when she was possessed. I thought she was so much fun.
She was awesome.
She was so great. I loved her hair. I loved that moment in the confessional when she just smashes it apart and she's like, do you know what pissed me off the most? No fucking wings. So good.
That pissed you off the most. Not being dead.
She was clearly having such a ball, and like that was her film debut, I think, the actress.
So, I think it was.
Yeah, like she did a good job, I thought.
Yeah, I thought she was brilliant. How about you, Grace? Did you like her before or after possession?
Oh, come on. You know the answer to this. Obviously after. You know the actress was having such a blast just playing this, you know, unapologetic bad girl. And I think she was a good fit, the actress, because, you know, she looks so sweet and innocent. You know, in the before Vicky, right? And then she turns into you know, Mary Lou being possessed, and she's just so much fun to watch. Maybe she could have not kissed her dad, but you know, other than that, she was so much fun to watch as Mary Lou.
Yeah, and you could just tell, like as you say, she was having a blast filming it. You could just tell it was oozing out of her that she was having a lot of fun and probably thinking, what is going on? Like, what's happening? How about you, Emma? Did you like Vicky?
No, I thought she was a wet blanket, but like everyone else, I preferred her possessed. I'm sorry, the nice girl. Yeah, so no.
Yeah. Oh, have we lost Emma? Is she there?
Oh.
You still there, Emma? Oh, not sure. I think
This
Emma.
teen streaming again.
Yeah, I
they're
think
watching
Emma was.
Prom Night II right now, aren't they?
Well,
Sorry, guys.
oh, it's all right. I can hear Emma, but I just can't see her. But after Candyman, I never know if it's me or not. So when we did Candyman, I couldn't tell. But yeah, I think Emma was saying, oh, bless you. But you were saying like you liked it after possession. Oh, bless you. We can see you. No worries. Yeah, so you liked Vicky after possession. I think I agree. Like she played it so well. I thought it was brilliant.
I kind of liked that she slightly got like Mary Lou's almost like was like a wish fulfillment for her. Like Vicky was so suppressed by her mother that she was like desperate to break out and have some fun, and she wasn't allowed. So it was great that Mary Lou actually allowed her to have a lot of fun.
Yeah. A little bit OTT, but yeah, a lot of fun. I just saw Nerissa's put places to go, people to kill as one of the lines. And Speed Rating said, "See you later, alligator."
Yeah.
Nerissa's put many times, and I loved every second of it. So there were such like iconic lines like in the film. Did you have a favourite line, Grace?
Oh gosh, yeah. There's several. We've already covered the major ones, right? People to go, people to go, places to go.
And people to go.
People to go. There you go. And there was one scene where Vicky had just started becoming possessed, and her friends are kind of making fun of her and saying like, oh, she sounds like she's in an Elvis Presley movie. And like, yeah, so there's some fun ones in there for sure. And of course, it's not who. What was it? It's not who you. It's not who you
come with.
It's not who you come with. It's who you take home. Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
I love that line. How about you, Emma? Did you have a favourite line?
I liked the potato guy at the beginning, and he was talking about potato radio, and then he says, "Just as you're all laughing now, but no one was laughing." And that made me laugh.
So that actor, he was in the first Prom Night, but obviously a different character, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
So was he?
Don't remember.
I think he was one of the kids at the beginning. When they're playing in the abandoned building. I think he was one of the kids, but obviously as a different character.
Wow. And
I was like, oh, I quite like that connection that it was him. So I thought he looks familiar. So I looked him up, and then obviously I saw. So yeah, I thought, kind of like that. Yeah. How about you, Josh? Did you have a favourite line?
I really liked, I can't remember what the line was, but it was a cop at the end who said something like, I don't know what happened, something really strange.
Something. Just something really strange.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that one.
And I liked when Josh said, "Life's a joke, then you croak."
Yeah, that was my favourite. I like that. No. I'm glad that we're on the same page. No, I like that. I'm going to use that in my everyday life. I'm going to be like, ha! Life's a joke, then you croak.
I like that he says it to the Albert Einstein poster too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And other than that, my other favourite line was "Bleh!" by the Rocking Horse. Yeah. Oh dear.
There it is again.
Never ever gonna forget. Eddie's video is laughing at wet blanket, comment that Emma said. And Nerissa's put the costume the costume trunk is trying to take Emma. Yeah, you know, when the internet was playing up, you're going to get like in the, Mary Lou's coming.
Yeah.
Eddie's made a good point as well. Still trying to make sense to the trunk. Was Mary Lou a theatre nerd? I feel like I missed something. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Like, there was kind of an unexplained thing about the trunk. I take it they just put her possessions in there, like as like never to be opened. But how did they know? I kind of got the sense that they thought there was a curse on these items. Did any of you think that at all? Or I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think I just biffed them down there, like.
Billy knew the trunk was there because he went looking for it, didn't he?
Yeah.
So maybe he hid all the stuff relating to her in that trunk for whatever reason.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I wish
more like storage. Just dump it in the basement.
Murder storage.
Yeah.
But
Murder storage.
I kind of wish we had seen that scene where he was putting the things in there, though, just to give it a bit of context. So you kind of like, oh, like, do you know what I mean? But I suppose, like, the opening credits, I guess, when it like snaps open and then snaps shut and then goes Mary Lou, like on the screen in that font. So I suppose that's kind of giving you a bit of a sense of it. I'm guessing. I don't know. I was a bit like, I would have liked to have seen that.
Well,
also,
what's up in that attic? I want to know.
Oh yeah, more cursed things.
More cursed things. Yeah.
More rocking horses.
Was it based?
Eddie's put also, where is Billy's wife? Oh, wow. Yeah, I feel like
not around.
Not important.
Yeah. Perhaps he like stink bombed her as well. And she's like, I can't take it anymore. I'm gone. Speedway Chick said, I feel like Billy was worried that it was open. Yeah, so he kind of had a sense that it had been opened, which I would have liked to have seen why he sensed that. He did pique my interest a little bit. And Eddie's put, hide the trunk in plain sight. Yes.
Yeah, best place for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So when tasked with directing reshoots, first time director, so this was the first time he was directing, I've put Ron Oliver, but I'm not sure. He was the writer, wasn't he? I think. I've probably got muddled up.
The reshoots as well.
Oh yeah. So apparently he called Wes Craven for some advice on directing a teen horror film. And Wes Craven's advice was, give them a scare, give them a hard-on, then send them home. So do you think this film achieved that, Josh?
Are you asking me as the male?
Yeah, spill it, Josh.
Yeah, it didn't really give me either of those things. I'm sure that some people enjoyed the female nudity in the locker room scene. Didn't do much for me, but you know, I thought it was kind of a bit unsettling because you didn't really know what the heck was going on for most of the film. So even though it wasn't overtly scary, it was quite sort of like, oh, like some horrible stuff is happening. What is going on here?
Yeah, no, I agree on that. And that just looping back to that locker scene where they was running around naked. It was like, was there really any need for them to be naked?
Probably not.
But I was there for it, you know. It was, you know, a good scene, but I was like, well,
apparently the director talked to the actor about it. Was it Wendy Lyons, or is that her name? He talked to her about it, and she was a bit like, I could just wear a towel, and he said, I think it'd be more effective if you were nude. And she was like, all right then.
And do you know what? She pulled it off. But like, I mean, the towel she pulled off.
She pulled it off. She literally just pulled it off.
Just pulled it off. But yeah, she did it well, and why not? Like, you know, she did do it well. Walking around completely nude. I give her a due for doing that.
it did make that moment quite unnerving. You know, they were both completely naked, and she's suddenly coming onto her in the shower, and you did really feel that, like, oh God, that's your friend. You know, it was quite unsettling.
The friend did freak out quite a lot, just because Vicky / Mary Lou was just giving her a bit of a kiss. She'd freak out a little bit too much. She's like, oh, I was like, is she like actually scared? Or do you know what I mean? Like, she did like completely, perhaps it was just so out of character for Vicky is what she was scared of. But yeah. What do you think, Grace? Do you think that Wes Craven's advice was good? And did it work in this case, do you think?
That's such a Wes Craven thing to say, because you see that formula working for him. I think that the director tried with Mary Lou. You know, and the 80s were rife with gratuitous nudity and you know, a lot of movies, right? So, you know, Mary Lou walking around for 5-10 minutes fully nude, you know, big deal, right? But I mean, I think I saw a comment that the movie was more kind of supernatural than, you know, terrifying, I guess. So but there were some genuine, like, shocking, not so much scares, but some, like, Mary Lou busting out of Vicky, you know, which was like all practical effects and, you know, gnarly makeup and cool prosthetics, and there's fire, and, you know, so that was genuinely like a cool, shocking, you know, it's not so much scary, but it was shocking, right? And fun to watch. So I think the director tried to deliver on those fronts, you know, the hard on, the scare, and all that. A for effort.
Yeah. And you can kind of imagine, like, when this was released, that, you know, the talking points that people would have had when they went to see it at the theatre, like at the cinema, like the talking points, like, oh, you've got to go and see this film, you know, there's this awesome scene, and there's this, so you can just imagine the conversations that were going on, all with people with different views on what they found like scary and awesome. I just think, like, there's so many to pick from. And just thinking about that nude scene as well, they did kind of a similar thing in The Faculty, didn't they? With was her name Mary Lou?
Mary Beth?
No, Mary Beth. Yeah, that
Mary
was
Beth.
it. Yeah, so they did a kind of a nude.
As far as the eye can see.
Oh, how about you, Emma? Do you think Wes Craven's advice was good? Do you think they pulled it off?
No, they didn't pull it off.
Oh.
No, I think I couldn't work out whether this was. I couldn't work out whether it was serious or whether it was like scary movie. Like, is this supposed to be a spoof of other movies? Do you know what I mean? I think they were generally trying to scare us, but it wasn't scary. It was more shocking, like Grace says. It wasn't scary. But I do think the nudity, I think because it's so odd for her to be walking around creepily in the nude, it makes her more unhinged, doesn't it? Like, why are you walking around with nothing on? You know, and that would be out of character for her because she's so modest and because her mum's so strict. So I think it did escalate it to crazy town.
I'm going to ask Kev, like, when I get out of the shower in the morning, I'm walking right from the shower to the bedroom naked, I'm going to say, do I look unhinged? See what he says. I'll let you know what he says in the morning. Oh dear.
Put them into a locker and then tell him.
Oh,
start kissing his nose. It's like, you know.
He'd be like, what? Oh dear. But I wonder at the time whether it came across as scary. But as we've seen so many films like over the years, and obviously, you know, it's 2023, that's why it came across as a spoof film. Does that make sense? Like, we've just got used to certain things, maybe, and at the time maybe it was quite shocking. Well, definitely would have been shocked at that rocking horse. So yes, so some of the sequences. I'll just go to the comments because I just saw a good comment. Just quick question for Grace from Eddie: is the movie soundtrack? Is that the movie soundtrack behind you on the shelf?
Yes.
Oh, no way!
Yeah. So the company TerrorVision released it on vinyl and cassette. So I think there's still some available. Yeah, TerrorVision. Look them up on Instagram and their website. But yeah, they released it, and it's great. Definitely recommend.
See, this is how I knew Grace would be the perfect guest for this film, because I knew it. I was like, yeah.
Good eye, Eddie.
Yeah, eagle eye. Eagle eye, Eddie.
Eagle eye, Eddie.
Yeah. Speed Rating said, I always think if there's nudity, then the film is bad, but I didn't think that for this one. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I think it's the way that she played it, though, because she was pretty scary in that scene. I mean, I would have been terrified, but you know, I would have been dead way before then. Anyway. Nevissa's put no, but she was showing Mary Lou power confidence. Yeah, so in that scene, she was very, very confident.
There was one scene when Mary Lou, as Vicky, possessing Vicky, said, "Great body, but not as good as mine."
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's just such a Mary Lou thing to say. And Speed Rage said, if Mary Lou possessed Vicky, how was Vicky able to climb out of the box after being shot multiple times?
Right in the chest! Right in the chest! Yeah!
Right in the chest.
She still... Yeah, that was a bit fuzzy, but wasn't she still in the chalkboard? I can't believe that's a sentence.
Oh, yeah!
They eventually let her out of the chalkboard.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Yeah, so talking about that chalkboard scene, so apparently... like that sequence was quite an elaborate setup. So obviously Vicky collapses into the chalkboard. It comes like a metallic liquid. And though it's only like a 45-second sequence, the production crew scheduled 5 days to complete the scene. And it cost like £2,000 per hour to film that scene. $2,000, sorry, per hour. Apparently Doyle designed the set with the blackboard lying flat on the floor and filmed it so it was as to appear that it was standing on end or something. So very clever for its time and
really cool
and things. So do you think the special effects stood out as good or bad, or good for their time? Great.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there were some inventive kills in that movie, for real. I'll give it that. They're very creative, and the chalkboard scene was awesome. You know, it becomes a swirling black mass. Hands reach out and grab her and pull her in. The same thing happens with the mirror in her room. You know, it starts to become water, and I think hands reach out of the mirror as well. Yeah. I think one of you had mentioned the volleyball net becomes a spider web. You know, so there was a lot of inventive, fun, creative scenes on what I'm sure was a shoestring budget, right? It was a low budget Canadian movie. So I think there was some fun, creative special effects in there and practical. I mean, that's why I love 80s horror so much. Most of it was practical effects, whereas today it's all, CG and green screen, but, just to see Mary Lou emerge out of Vicky and, with the makeup and the prosthetics and the fire, it's not fake fire, right?
Yeah.
There's shit burning. So, absolutely. I love the effects.
So true. How about you, Emma? Did you like the special effects? Did you think they looked good?
Yeah, I like them. I don't think special effects have to look completely realistic, though. No. I think that they just have to get the point across. Like artists say, when you're drawing, you just have to make it look like it. Don't draw all the little bits because you'll lose it. You'll lose the picture. So you just have to make it look like it, not draw it completely and technically. And I think that they got across what they needed to get across with their special effects. Yeah, they were really good. Yeah, and the 80s did do a great job with that, because you had to think outside the box. You couldn't just tap it into a computer and away we go. No, that's not easy. It's not quite that easy. But, you had to think, how am I going to do this? What am I going to use? And you had to really think about how to get it onto the screen in the way that you want. So I thought it was really clever.
Yeah, me too. How about you, Josh? Did you like the
Oh
special
yeah,
effects?
I completely agree with everything Emma and Grace have said. But I also think like the fire when she's actually on fire, like that looked so. That was a stunt person, and it looked
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
real. You know, it
Mm,
didn't even look like a man in a costume. It looked like a prom queen going up in flames. It was
yeah,
so well done. I love that they pulled it off
yeah.
brilliantly.
No, I agree. And I think, like, especially if you saw those effects at the time, like if you're thinking about Nightmare on Elm Street and things like that, I think the effects, even though this was probably more low budget, were on a par really at the time to Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I thought they were cool. I love that chalkboard scene. I thought it was
Yeah.
brilliant.
I love how they had
Um,
like white letters swirling around as well. Like
yeah,
so much attention to detail.
yeah, so 80s, so
Mm.
80s. So Grace just mentioned, and I think Emma mentioned about the special effects being one of the reasons why they love 80s horror. So are there any other reasons why you love 80s horror? Like what makes you watch an 80s horror movie, Grace?
Oh, starting with me. I mean, I love all things 80s, obviously, but 80s horror has a special place in my heart. What was the question? Why do I love
So
80s
yeah, so
horror
why
so
do you
much?
love it? What makes you watch it? Like why do you like to watch it?
I mean, just like I touched upon previously, just the ingenuity, the creativity, the practical effects. And it was kind of uncharted territory in the 80s. I think the 80s horror was when it really came into its own. Of course, you had the classic monsters, you had the 70s horror like Carrie and Exorcist, but in the 80s, I mean, I think most people would consider the 80s the best decade for horror, and I think it has a lot to do with the time as well. Just the Cold War and just the paranoia and the sense of isolation. Maybe it all kind of culminated in like that time period, just encapsulated into the films. But yeah, just a lot of creativity at play. And, even when an 80s horror movie is bad, it's still memorable, right?
Yeah.
Because of the practical effects, because of like, the creativity at play.
Yeah, that's
Definitely,
so
I think,
true.
yeah, I think a lot of people nowadays will try to imitate a lot of 80s horror, but it's unparalleled. And
Stranger
is
Things.
obviously,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. Exactly. So,
No, I really agree with that, Grace. Because if I think about like horror and I think about the things that have stuck in my mind, like I think of films like The Fly, the way they did the special effects in that, and there's a lot of 80s horror that is just ingrained on my brain now. Like Werewolf in London that we watched
yes,
with that special effects, and yeah, definitely, I think it's just iconic, really, more than
absolutely.
anything. How about you, Josh? Why do you like watching 80s horror? Or don't you like watching
I
80s horror?
love 80s horror. Yeah, no, I think like the word iconic, you're totally right. I think that the 80s really gave us so many iconic images and the best, like you've got Pinhead, you've got
Yes.
Jason, you've got Freddy, all these
Freddy.
really pop culture images that have endured.
Yeah.
And, we think that they happened a couple of years ago. They're now like 30, 40 years old, those things.
God, they're
And they
getting on a
still
bit.
they're getting on, they're getting a bit crazy, but they've still got the same sort of appeal and attraction. We still love them. I think younger generations love them as well.
Yeah.
And the other thing I think that I love is the music. I think the 80s
Yeah.
rock anthems, the 80s synth scores, they're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
so great, so of that time. Just
Yeah.
brilliant.
Definitely. How about you, Emma? Do you like 80s horror?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I just lived in Blockbuster in the 80s horror section, in the 90s for me, because I was a teenager, but I was watching all the 80s stuff, all the 90s stuff, so it kind of went from the 80s over into the 90s and carried on for a bit. But I mean, my favourite movie is, and my favourite monster is Alien. Like Aliens is my favourite one, so the second one in the franchise, because of the suspense. It's terrifying. And the special effects. That monster is amazing. That was done back then. That wasn't done today, and that was done with all artists making that and putting it on a person. It's just incredible. So that's what I loved. And the fact that I was a teenager when all of this was going on, you know, when all this great stuff was coming out. I was a child and a teenager, and I think that's where horror comes in its best, in your teenagers. That's when you're really scared, isn't it? It's like, ah!
Yeah.
So, I think that's what makes it so great, that they use teenagers often in the horror, because they know we're going to get scared.
Yeah. No, that's so true. Like, I always think when I was younger, I always think back to like when I first saw Gremlins for the first time. So I probably was too young to probably be watching Gremlins, maybe, because what was it, 84 it came out?
Yeah.
So
Sounds about right. Yeah,
around that
84.
time.
So I would have only been like 3 or 4. So you're going into, maybe I was like 6, and we all know the first horror film I ever watched was Evil Dead anyway, because of my nan. But if I think back to watching Gremlins for the first time and the effects of them coming out of the, you know, the gooey egg shell things, like that used to make me physically sick when I was younger, because I used to be so grossed out by it, and it actually terrified me, like thinking these things could just hatch out of these eggs. So like now I watch it and I'm really not that fussed, but back then I was like I just couldn't watch it because it just grossed me out that much. So like if you just think of like images like that, they're just ingrained on your brain from the 80s. It's amazing really that you still think of like memories like that as we go along. So and
it is still scaring kids, isn't it? It's still scary. Yeah. So I've shown my kids, and my kids are like, oh my goodness, like what is this? They love it.
No, that's it. And there's a really good documentary that I've been watching. It is on Shudder, but you can get it on, I think, DVD and Blu-ray, which is In the Taste of Darkness, where they've covered like, it's like 3 hours of, I think there's part 1, part 2, part 3, and they're all like 3 hours long. It's all about 80s horror, and I've just started watching it. But check it out, it's really interesting. They've got like interviews and things like that, and they're actually doing a 90s one, which is going to come up, so that would be really interesting as well. But it's just so fascinating to hear people talk about these like 80s horror films. It's amazing. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, I thought I'd just give it a bit of a shout out because it's really good. So do you have any favourite possession films? So obviously this film is about possession. Have you got any favourites, Josh?
What are my favourites? I love Evil Dead 2, just brilliant. There was a film, I think it was late 90s, called Fallen, with Denzel Washington, that was quite a fun possession-y type story, kind of freaked me out when I was a kid. And then Jennifer's Body. Which is just like brilliant. Yeah. So
that's
iconic.
A good one.
Love it.
Yeah. I love that one. How about you, Emma? Have you got any favourites?
Yeah, I actually like Poltergeist 3, and I know that's strange, but the kids were possessed in that, the teenagers were, and they were ripping off each other's faces, you know, and I just thought that was really cool. So that's probably my favourite kind of possession there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love that one as well. I do like. You just want me to say the word, don't you?
Yeah.
No, I can't say poltergeist. I said it.
You did it.
Yeah. It's hit and miss. It's hit and miss. How about you, Grace? Have you got any favourite possession films?
Yes, I'm actually prepared for this one. Evil Dead 2 was mentioned, which is, yes, obviously one of my all-time favorites, but I think some of the lesser known ones, and for some reason movies that I'm thinking about a lot lately, I don't know if you guys have, I have my VHS ready. Have you guys heard of The Stuff?
From
1987, I think, same year as Mary Lou. But so much fun. That's so much fun. It's about it's kind of a satire on consumer culture and how just advertising kind of conditions us to just want more and more and more. But it's basically about well, there's a photo of a fancy lady holding a container of the stuff. It's like a new frozen treat that's hit the market. And people can't get enough of it. You know, they eat it and they want more and more and more. And what it actually is, it's an organism from outer space that turns you into a zombie. And the result, the results are not pleasant. It takes over your mind and your body, and it fucks you up. So it's a lot of fun. It's actually a pretty brilliant satire on consumer culture in '87. So it's like the height of like '80s excess, right? And also another kind of unknown gem that I really like, and no one really talks about this movie. It's called The Hidden from 1980. I think this is actually '87. From
I've not seen that.
Kyle MacLachlan is in it, and he plays an alien from outer space. And he teams up with a cop to find the human host of another bad alien that takes over human beings and turns them into homicidal maniacs. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's like sci-fi action. There's some really great scenes in it, so definitely recommend.
Ooh, I love sci-fi.
Yeah, those sound so good. I like really want to watch those now.
Definitely.
I just saw someone put so Dustin Whalen 1976 said Psycho 2 rules.
I love Psycho 2.
I don't think I've ever seen Psycho 2. Is that bad? I don't think I've ever seen that one. Sweets and Hearts has put, I want to watch the stuff. Yeah, me too. Like
Erica, we're gonna watch it soon.
It sounds so
really
good.
Tasty as well. The stuff they eat looks delicious.
I want to try it.
Yeah.
We'd all eat
videos, it. Yeah, definitely.
Just a little taste, right?
Eddie's videos, but The Exorcist. So he said my boring choice, but
a classic.
There's something about The Exorcist, like, I watched it years ago and I've never been able to bring myself to watch it again because it just makes me feel ill. Like, I think I said this to Eddie's video once when we was talking about films to talk about, and I said, I just can't bring myself to watch it again. I don't know what it is, whether it just unsettled me, and because it is an unsettling film and I just can't bring myself to watch it. And even like talking about it makes me feel a bit queasy. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's obviously.
Is it if you have kids yourself that you live?
Yeah,
no, because I'll watch it.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, I know my poor nan gets blamed a lot, but she did like terrify me and my brother quite a lot when we were younger. So it could be that it's just that I remember the feeling of how I felt back then, but even talking about it now, I can feel that I'm getting anxious thinking about The Exorcist. It's so strange. It's a really strange feeling, but it just makes me feel physically sick. So yeah. So for me, I'd probably say, I know Eddie's video put the boring choice, but for me, that's like the scary choice because I'm like, Dustin's put, is it Chud? Chud also? Yeah, I've not seen that one. And also, Dustin put also From Beyond. Okay.
That rings a bell.
Yeah.
Is that Lovecraft?
H.P. Lovecraft.
I'm getting all these recommendations. Always end up with a big list. Eddie's video put the stuff VHS is so hard to find, so worth a pretty penny nowadays.
Look it up.
That's amazing. Barbie singer author put The Exorcist 3. So I never got
seen that one.
I've never got past The Exorcist 1, so I haven't seen the third one, but maybe I'm going to have to like try. And Barbie
yes, I see the thing. And like, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good one. Larissa's put as well, The Exorcist is really sad and depressing. It is. It's just very unsettling. Obviously, Larissa put The Thing. The Exorcist was the only banned filmed in Eddie's childhood home. So yeah, it was banned quite a lot everywhere, wasn't it? But me and Eddie's video, that's your new name. Eddie's video watched Witchboard, and that's like possession, isn't it? Because of the Ouija board and that. And I loved that film. I thought it was good, especially the scene at the end when the person falls out the window and there's like cars and it was like grass before. But anyway, plot holes. Yeah, we really liked it. And also
Oh, sorry, I'm yapping. But Poison Ivy as well. I remember, or was it Poison Ivy 2 or something? Yeah, one of those being about possessions, just for throwing a couple of things out there. Yeah, Witchboard is great. Yeah.
I mean, you gotta love Tawny Katane, the rock vixen of the 80s, right? Yeah, as the star of Witchboard.
Yeah, it was so good. And I've heard that they're remaking that film, I think. I'm sure I read it somewhere, and I was like, okay, I can see why you want to remake it, because it was good, but no, just don't touch it. It's just perfect as it is.
It's fine, yeah.
It's like if someone remade like Waxwork, like, you know, you just couldn't do it nowadays because it wouldn't have those like special effects and things.
No.
So yeah. So one last question and then we'll wrap up. So if you could give one piece of advice to Mary Lou, what would it be? Emma?
What, as a ghost?
Or any advice as a ghost, or when she was alive, anything.
One piece of advice, I would say, don't go with the guy that you don't like. Just don't take him, it's mean.
Yeah. I like that. How about you, Josh?
I would say don't wear flammable material.
That's a good one.
How about you guys?
I was gonna piggyback off of Josh's comment and say, stop, drop, and roll.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that simple. You see it in every movie, right? When people catch on fire, they're like, ah! It's like, that's one of the first things we learned in grade school. If there's a fire on your body, you stop, you drop, and you roll to put out the fire.
Yeah.
This is true.
I like that one. My piece of advice would be, well, I suppose actually it's not to Mary Lou, so I've thought of my advice wrong, but I was going to say get rid of the rocking horse, but actually that was Vicky. So yeah. My advice is bad. We're never going to forget it, never. And Narissa's put, her advice would be chill out. Just chill. Chill. The crown's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Maybe to you, Shelley, but to some people.
I'm just disappointed that I haven't got one. That's what it is.
To some people, it's worth killing for.
Yeah. Oh, but thanks, guys. So overall, did we have fun with this film? Because I had tons of fun with it. And I just thought it was brilliant. So, Josh, would you thumbs up, thumbs down? What do we reckon? Yeah. Emma? Woohoo! Did you have fun? Yeah. I mean, no, Grace is definitely a thumbs up. She loves it. Oh, look at that.
Ooh, cool.
She's such a good actress. Like, it's just the eyes in the eyes. It's like, woohoo. Yeah, Speed
Oh,
Racer.
look, there's Emma's scene right there. Emma's favorite, where she's caught up in the web.
So dramatic.
So dramatic.
Oh, well, thanks, guys. Like, thanks for everyone who's joined in. Yes, Melina, we need to know, are you scarred for life about Anne of Green Gables? And did you enjoy it? So I think I know what Melina's answer is, because she did message me going, what? I think she said it's the most crazy film she's seen or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was crazy. But yeah, thanks to everyone who's joined in. Yes, totally scarred, she said. Thanks to Grace for being our super special 80-tastics guest, Prom Queen. Yay! Thank you, Grace. And thanks to Josh and Emma. Now, normally I show Josh and Emma's books here, but I've got everything packed at the moment. And the only book I have to hand is Josh's new book, because obviously it just not long came. So yeah, do check.
I have the other one.
Oh, yay! Do check out Burn the Negative and The Shadow Glass by Josh Winning, and do check out Emma and all her fab short stories and brilliant other posts that she does. And I'm just sad I packed the books and I forgot when I packed them. I was like, no, I've packed everything. But yeah, thanks guys, and we'll see you next month. And bye horses.
See you later, alligator.
Bye. See you
Thanks,
later,
guys.
alligator.
Bye. Bye.